Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I received my Fountain Day pen purchases, plural. Today I'm going to show you one of the things that I got on Fountain Pen Day. So I placed an order at Stilo and Steel, which is the only place I was intending to order for Fountain Pen Day. They had an exclusive release, but then they also had a 10% off. So I had a number of pens on my wish list that I have been eyeing and waiting to make the decision to get until Fountain Pen Day. This year, I've been trying to be a little bit more intentional in my purchases and thoughtful about what I'm adding to my collection, as opposed to just purchasing because it looks pretty, etc. So, as you see with this box, the first pen is a Momento Zero collection by Leonardo. So full disclosure, I have opened this. I did film a video. I did not like it. So here I am refilming. All right. So the Leonardo comes in this cardboard feeling, but harder than cardboard, clamshell box. And the inside is so plush, so pretty. But here is my pen. So it comes tucked in this little band in a plastic sleeve, and it has the iconic Leonardo, I guess, charm. For those of you that receive pens with these little charms, what do you do with them after you unbox your pen? Because I love the Leonardo wings. At least that's what they look like to me. I also love the sound when you take that off the clip. So the clip is quite sturdy. I love the roller ball right here. Can become a really nice fidget. This has rhodium trim, and it has the 3 bands that I see on many Leonardo, at least the Momento pens. And this one is not a Zero Grande, so it has a cartridge inside. And it's also my first pen with a blind cap for filling. So this cap actually is part of the cartridge converter. I think I said cartridge a moment ago, but it's part of the converter that's on the inside of this pen. And it's long enough that it sticks out right here. So if you're filling your pen, you can do so similar to a piston fill, where you dip your nib in and then turn the knob here under the blind cap. But with the cap on, it looks just like any other Leonardo pen. It does have this tapering at each end, which I really like. And it's this beautiful green. The colorway here is called Jade. And I looked at a lot of different colorways, and there were many that I really liked, but this one was the one that I kept coming back to. And I was coming back to it in the Momento Zero style, as well as the Fiore style. I think that's how it's pronounced. So it was one that just kept catching my eye. And this has a fine nib, and it's a steel nib. I really strongly considered getting a 14 karat gold nib. However, the way that my purchase shook out, I made a decision that instead of getting the 14 karat gold nib, I was going to purchase a specialty nib grind. So since I'm talking about it, let's go ahead and open this up. I will not be trialing this in this video because I did ink this up. Sorry, I washed this down. It's got scratches, so I think I need to get a new one. But I did ink this up after filming the first video because I was going into a meeting and I wanted to be able to take notes with it. So it is inked, which is why I will not be switching out the nib right now. So it comes with this card here, and on the back is a QR code that you can scan, and it gives instructions on how to install the nib. I have watched that video. It is exceptionally easy. So in one of my subsequent videos, I will demonstrate switching that out. And then it comes in this little sample tube with the Stilo and Steel logo. The Nibmeister is G. Salabino, and the grind is a mini cursive smooth italic, which is exactly the nib grind that I have been wanting. I knew I wanted a cursive smooth italic, but the fact that it was mini for me was icing on the cake. So I went ahead and snagged this. It has this really interesting matte finish on the top here with the logo that is on the card. So that was another fun little get on fountain pen day. There we go. Okay, now let's compare the Momento Zero with some other pens that I have in my collection. It's like magic. They just float in. So I do have a number of pens to compare it to. Just I wanted to be fairly thorough. So this is the Momento Zero in my collection. And here it is next to the Momento Zero Grande 2.0. And goodness, that size difference is huge. This is a wider or girthier pen. It's longer, but they have a similar look to them. And in terms of the 3 bands here, the one here, the band near the end finial, the size of the clips are the same. This one, like I said, is rhodium. This is rose gold. I also placed it next to the Esterbrook Esty in Rainforest. Goodness, in Sea Glass, which I will be very honest, when I kept coming back to Jade, the reason that I would kind of walk away from it is because I thought, you know what, I have the Esterbrook Sea Glass pen that's going to be very similar. But as you can see when they're side by side, Sea Glass leans much more blue and the Jade is leaning a little bit more yellow. So they are 2 different colors, but they look beautiful next to each other. So I'm very happy about that. The Esterbrook in body style is longer. It does have the cigar shape, so it tapers at the top and the bottom, but this also has the tapered top, so keeping that into consideration, it's a longer pen. I then have the Laban 325 in Forest, which again is a bigger pen than the Momento Zero. Now, next up, I've got the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. This is the Slim, so you can tell there's quite a bit of size difference there. However, the Sailor Pro Gear Slim is considered to be a pocket pen, as is the Kaweco. I think this is the Nope, this is the Sport. The Kaweco Sport is also a pocket pen and quite a bit different in size than the Momento Zero. Moving on with my comparison, I have a TWSBI Eco in white and rose gold, which is a fairly common pen, and the cap is open. Let me just go ahead and, I should say the piston is open. All right, let's close that. So with the piston closed, it's the tiniest bit longer. Here is a Pilot Vanishing Point Decimo, which is a thinner, kind of lighter version of the Vanishing Point. Then I've got a Lamy 2000 and a Waterman Karen. So I'm kind of showing this pen compared with some of the less expensive pens, such as a Kaweco and a TWSBI, to the more common pens, such as a Vanishing Point and a Lamy 2000, and then just other pens in my collection. So next is the Opus 88, which is a eyedropper fill, and the Esterbrook Model J. All right. Let me put these aside and grab a piece of paper. I'm going to be using a Life Bank paper for this writing sample. So with this pen, just again, I was in a meeting. I was doing that meeting virtually from the same desk that I do all of this from. So all the things were here. I couldn't help myself. I grabbed one of my newer bottles of ink. This is Birmingham Pen Company Megalodon, which this color for me was quite green, so I thought it was a nice fit. And I personally really enjoy Birmingham Pen Company inks. They are good flowing, well lubricated, pretty easy to work with. So I thought that would be a nice fit. Oh, in terms of capping, this Ken cap, feels like a good cap. It's not snapping in place, it's not magnetized in place, but it does seem like a good fit. It does add a good amount of length for it for my hand, but if I were in a place where I was uncomfortable uncapping it, I would certainly if I was uncomfortable placing the cap down, I would certainly be able to cap it. The grip section has this really nice shape to it. As I'm holding it, I'm realizing how much I really like this. So it tapers down, but then it doesn't really flare up or angle up. So I'll have to check that out with longer writing sessions to see, are my fingers creeping up or do they seem to be settled? This right here, I'm finding myself inclined to position my fingers on this part right here. So you shall see. All right. So this is the Leonardo Momento Zero collection. It's in the color Jade. It has a fine steel nib. And this was a fountain pen day purchase in 2024. The order was processed on 11/8/24, and it arrived on 11/18/24. Now, interestingly, it did sit, I guess, at Stilo and Steel for a few days before it shipped. And in fact, it was processed 11/8. It was originally scheduled, or per the shop app, it was scheduled to be delivered on 11/11. So I got really excited and I waited for the mail all day long, like a little kid. And then at the end of the day, at about 7:30, 8 o'clock p.m. on the 11th, it changed the status to awaiting pickup. So it then got picked up. I can't remember the exact day, but within a few days of 11/11, and then it was shipped. So the shipping did not take 10 days. Let me be very clear with that. Now, this is a steel nib, so just in terms of general writing, you're not going to get any line variation. But if you really wanted to push down on it, there's not a whole lot of difference. The tiniest little bit of difference, but I wouldn't recommend really pushing on a steel nib. So this ink is really an interesting ink. It goes down green. It's drying on this paper gray, which is fascinating. But just in terms of the base color before it dries, I thought that was a really nice match. Ink is fascinating. All right, so that is my first item from my Fountain Day purchase for 2024. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate the time that you have given me, and I hope you have a wonderfully productive day. I'll see you in the next one.